So, I was originally prepared to talk about the new retro carded Storm tonight, but I posted an image of the Toy Biz Apocalypse today, and it kind of blew up. I guess you guys want to talk about this guy. Alright, let's do it. Hey Toy fans, Rob here. Let's get these guys out of the box and see what they're all about. Hey Toy fans, Apocalypse here is so big, we're going to have to do this video a little bit differently than we normally do. So I'm going to be flying by the seat of my pants here. We're going to do things a little bit out of order. We're starting with the wide shot, the widest shot I can get of this figure because it's so huge. And you can see Apocalypse is not a small Build-A-Figure. Now, Apocalypse was part of the, obviously, Apocalypse Build-A-Figure wave from Toy Biz. That consisted of 6 figures, including Iron Fist, Sasquatch, Maestro, Wolverine, X-23, and Iron Fist. And what was special about that wave was each figure in the wave actually had a variant figure that was also available in the wave. So Wolverine had a masked and unmasked version of Astonishing Wolverine. X-23 had a purple outfit and then a sort of black outfit and 2 very different head sculpts. Maestro Hulk, actually Maestro Hulk's the exception. I don't think there was a variant Maestro Hulk, but we'll get back to him in just a moment. There was Sasquatch, who also had a white variant that was supposed to be Snowbird. And then we had Iron Fist, who had a variant that was a red Iron Fist figure, or an evil Iron Fist figure. Maestro was special in that way. While he didn't have a variant, he did have a packaging error. I'm not sure what the ratio was, but many of the Maestros that were available at retail did not actually have one of the arm cables for Apocalypse at launch. So, to fix that, Toy Biz had a hotline that you could call and actually order an arm cable, and that's what I had to do when I finished my Apocalypse figure, because otherwise I wouldn't have had it. It was a bit of a widespread issue. I'm pretty sure Toy Fair magazine even covered it at the time. So if you're looking to backtrack and get all of the figures to build your own Apocalypse, you may want to keep an eye on that Maestro figure and see if the cable's in there. If you're going to go and pay the hundreds of dollars it costs to get those figures in box, it would be really unfortunate if you end up with one of those original Maestros that does not have the arm cable. So make sure you're checking, ask your seller, see if they even know what's going on with that. Sometimes people don't even know. But that's how the figures in the wave panned out. Apocalypse himself also had a variant. This is the version that I've got. It's the, I guess, standard blue version of the figure, but there was also a black version of the figure where the blue parts on the arms and the legs and then the actual like gray areas of the torso are very noticeably black versus being blue. And sometimes when you're looking up an Apocalypse Build-A-Figure on eBay or wherever, you might see that somebody got mixed pieces and put them together and they don't really match. So if you care about that sort of thing, definitely make sure you're looking carefully at the pieces you're ordering online and what the completed Apocalypse that you're looking at online actually looks like. Make sure it's the right version. I have seen where there have been blue arms and blue legs, and then they have the black torso, which kind of works, but it's not accurate. So just keep an eye out for that as well. But this is an incredible, incredible Build-A-Figure. This was not the first one that Toy Biz did. They did Galactus first. And then I believe the Sentinel was next, I believe, and then Apocalypse. I could have the Apocalypse and Sentinel order reversed there. But as you see here, Apocalypse does stand pretty tall. Let me grab the tape measure and we'll see how tall he actually is. See what we have here. It looks like he's gonna come in right about, 14 inches tall maybe. So actually probably taller than the one that was just announced at New York Comic Con 2025 based on X-Men 97. This figure will be a little bit taller. Now I do anticipate that that Hasbro effort is probably going to articulate or at least be a little more sturdy than this Apocalypse is. This guy has got some ball hips. He does have a nice ratchet in his torso. You can hear that. And he does have ratchets in his shoulder joints. I'm moving the torso so you're hearing double clicks there. Let me see if I can grab them differently. So you hear there are ratchets in his shoulders, so they at least thought of that. But in the legs, well, I say that there are ratchets, but he is pretty loose. You can see as I shake his leg, from the knee down, it's a little bit loose. And on the other side, it's also kind of like that. I have had issues with this guy over the years where his feet start spreading apart because of the weight, and then eventually he just tumbles over on himself. Not an issue I have too often, but it's something you want to look out for. So as you saw though, we had this guy at 14 inches. This is not the tallest Build-A-Figure that Toy Biz ever gave us. That actually belongs to, the honor belongs to the Sentinel, based off of the Here Comes Tomorrow storyline from New X-Men by Grant Morrison and Mark Silvestri. So this Sentinel figure I think stands right about 15 inches. Let me go ahead and measure him. And of course his legs are splayed out a little bit, but you'll get an approximate idea. Looks like he's actually closer to 15.5 inches, and I'll bet if we straighten his legs out a little more, we can actually get a full 16. So these are some pretty big and impressive Build-A-Figures that Toy Biz was able to provide us while they were paying less for the Marvel license and losing money on every figure they sold, and ultimately why they went out of business. But still, some really amazing Build-A-Figures. So that's Apocalypse. Let's go ahead and do a couple of more size comparisons, and then we'll pull in and do some closer detail. So let's grab Mojo. He's kind of a bigger one that Hasbro's given us. You can see how tall Apocalypse is next to Mojo. Let me kind of center these guys up a little bit better. So, you know, Mojo's still pretty impressive as he is, but Apocalypse just towers over him. Let's bring in the recent Gamerverse Juggernaut figure, and you can see how big Apocalypse is compared to that Juggernaut. Nice size difference there. I mean, Juggernaut's huge, right? And he's only up to the waist of this Apocalypse figure, so that's pretty interesting. Let's go ahead and do another comparison. Probably the biggest Build-A-Figure that Hasbro's given us, I'm pretty sure, is the MCU Hulkbuster figure. So again, he's a little bit taller. Yeah, just maybe slightly taller than Juggernaut. Let's bring him back in here. Actually, I'd say Juggernaut's probably got a little bit of an edge there. I think his helmet's just a tad taller. So anyway, this is still, I think, the biggest Build-A-Figure that Hasbro's actually done. Let's go ahead and bring in some other comparisons here. Hasbro themselves have done a couple of Apocalypse figures. So let's go ahead and bring in their Build-A-Figure Apocalypse from the Marvel Legends line. You can see that he is dwarfed by the Toy Biz effort. And we'll bring in another Apocalypse that Hasbro has given us, the Age of Apocalypse figure, which is just basically a reuse of the Build-A-Figure Apocalypse. So same height there as you would expect. There is another Apocalypse out there from the Marvel Legends line. I don't own that figure. I was never able to find it at retail back in the day. It's a bit more of a stout-looking Apocalypse. It's based on some Salvador Larroca art from Adjectiveless X-Men in the mid-2000s. The same storyline that gave us the Horseman Gambit. That figure, I believe, is actually shorter than the Hasbro effort, but not by much. But if I ever get him, you know, maybe I can share a photo on Instagram and compare him, or other people have probably done so already, with the Build-A-Figure Apocalypse. A couple more comparisons before we're done. Let's bring in, there we go, X-Men 97 Wolverine. You can see that he is just so tiny compared to that Apocalypse. Let's go ahead and bring in Cyclops, and you can see where he stands. There we go. And we'll bring in Cable. So some pretty nice size difference there between Apocalypse and the X-Men who would attempt to take him down. So a really fun Build-A-Figure. If you guys can still get it, you're probably going to end up paying a lot for it. At least you will before the new Hasbro one comes out. Maybe wait. That's probably the safe plan there. And I do still think it's a great looking figure. It is a classic looking Apocalypse in all the right ways. But yeah, that's how he compares to what's come before and what we've got now. So let's go ahead and look at this guy in closer detail. All right, let's see what the rest of this Apocalypse figure is all about. You can see we've got some fantastic sculpted detail on the face. His head can look up only so much, and it looks down pretty far, but it can rotate left and right. I like that they've got the metallic paint on the lips and also metallic in the eyes there. Very fearsome grimace, you know, classic Apocalypse look. And yeah, he's just painted really well. There's some silver painting in there on his neck and some great sculpted detail. He's got his A collar around the neck. And as we look down the rest of this figure, you're going to see just all kinds of paint shading and just detail that we don't see on Legends these days. And a lot of different variations of paint, or a lot of different colors of paint that we don't typically get on Legends these days. He's even got some shading in his muscles here as we come down. Just a really great looking Apocalypse figure. Now I mentioned his joints. We saw his head, we saw his neck, we have that ratchet in the upper torso. He is capable of rotating at the waist, it's just a flat cut there. Ball joints, as I said earlier, that do go forward and bend out from the body extremely far. He's got a double jointed knee, that has a ratchet in it. And Toy Biz went through the trouble of covering up the screw holes on this figure, which I really appreciate. And then he's got an ankle that will bend left and right. It's got the old school hinge pivot on there. It doesn't go forward or backwards. At least this one's not. Let me try a little harder here. Oh, there we go. It does go forward and backward. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So some pretty strong ankles on this guy too. It's really just a shame about the knees and how loose they got. Specifically the joint below the knee. He has a toe articulation that goes forward and backward. And then he has his arms. He has the rotation at the bicep. Come on, show it to us. Anyway, you can see there it does rotate. It's a little stiff. Arm rotates all the way around. There is some ratcheting to that shoulder. He's got a single jointed elbow. And again, they've covered up the screw hole. Doesn't bend 90, so it's a little hindered. No sort of glove rotation. And his hand will bend, come on, you can do it. Bend down. The hinge is there. It's not moving at all. The hand will bend down. I'm not going to force it. And back. There we go. Now it's moving. Down and back. And then he's got finger articulation. All of his fingers are clenched so he can hold somebody. But he is capable of moving all of his fingers individually. The thumb, however, does not move at all. If you look at the figure on the back, you're going to see he does have these cables coming out of his back. These are bendy wire, which is great, so you can get them posed and they'll stay in position. But look at that detail on the back. I wish my back looked like that, right? Except for the weird proportions going into the waist. Fantastic figure on the back as well. More paint detail down there on the boots. So, Toy Biz, man, they did everything they could to make this the best Apocalypse figure that they possibly could. And he's held up pretty well because of it. And while I don't have every figure in the Apocalypse Build-A-Figure wave anymore, here are the figures that I do still have compared to this Apocalypse Build-A-Figure. I've got Bishop, Sasquatch, X-23, and Iron Fist. And finally, just to make sure we're covering all of our bases, while I don't have a version of the animated Apocalypse outside of the packaging, I do still have him on card. So here he is compared to the Toy Biz Build-A-Figure. But that new 12-inch version is going to look so nice. Alright, toy fans, well, that's my look back at the Marvel Legends Toy Biz Apocalypse Build-A-Figure. So, in 2025, does this Apocalypse Build-A-Figure still hold up? He does, but the age of the figure is definitely most noticeable in the articulation. Like I said, maybe don't rush out and buy him right now, but keep him in the back of your mind. And a year from now, when the new Made-To-Order Apocalypse comes out from X-Men 97 and Hasbro, maybe then go back and check on the status of this Marvel Legends classic. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below which is the best version of Apocalypse we've received so far. If you guys like what you saw here today, please go ahead and give this video a like and share it with your friends. You can always keep up with me at D21Beast, and I'll see you guys next time.